It's over 9,000!
Welcome, Super Elite Warriors, to Final Forum, a podcast for the discussion of all things Dragon Ball. I am your host, Jelli, an elite recruiting member of the Frieza Force on a mission to find the best warriors from across the galaxy to join the greatest army of all time, and I am joined, as always, by my new recruit co-host.
This is the Bekinney, and join us as we uncover the cultural inspirations and hidden history behind Akira Toriyama's seminal franchise. And we can go now.
Well, hang on.
Would you guys say the one thing, because I know Travis said like the one thing that everyone is saying is that Aaron Taylor Johnson is not good. But would you say the one thing that's been absolutely universal? Because I haven't seen a single person not say this. They're very excited about the future of the franchise, and everyone wants to see a sequel.
Yeah, and it looks like that's happening because news broke today that, the movie made a surprise more than anyone thought it would. So yeah, you can bet they're doing a sequel, and it sounds like Legendary is gonna stay working with Warner Brothers on the sequel, which is good news because it means we don't lose some of that.
Look, these guys have been talking about the 2014 Godzilla movie for hours. How much more is there to say about it? Besides, it's just a bunch of nerds, one of which sounds kind of like you, talking about a movie from over a decade ago and pondering on the future that we already know.
You know what? You're right. Let's just do all the things that you want to do.
All the things I want to do? We never do what I want to do. We're constantly running afoul of danger and terror and death, all because you want to see what's on the inside of dark caves or talk to scary-looking monster alien men. If we did what I want to do, we wouldn't be here right now. We wouldn't be drifting through the universes trying to find our way home. We'd be home.
Okay, fine. Lead on. Let's leave this warm, comfortable, seemingly safe, quiet area and plunge into the pulsating vortex of swirling unknown.
Well, now,
Not so easy to make the decision when you're the one in charge, is it?
No, I think I got this. Let me just think for
And while you're ruminating, let's get into this week's topic. And today, we're going to be talking about episodes 124 and 125 of Dragon Ball Z. We're going to be then focusing in on driving, and then we all know what time it is. But before we get into that, let me just remind everyone to hit us up on all the socials, like us here, like us there, like us everywhere, as a specific call to action. How about you join our Discord? Go to Discord, find us, search us out, find Final Forum, a Dragon Ball podcast. It should be pretty easy to find if you have even a modicum of ability on Discord, which I really don't. So if you're at least as good as me, and I am terrible at Discord, you should be able to find us and come hang out with us. We've got a few people in there now talking, and we just kind of... We don't only talk about Dragon Ball. Yeah, we don't.
No, we talk about whatever comes up.
Yeah. I was talking about how on a recent... the most recent Friday the 13th, I talked about how I was watching Freddy vs. Jason for the first time in kind of a while. So, yeah, come chill with us.
All right.
And with that out of the way, I'll kick it back over to Bekinney to walk us through these 2 episodes. Really, one is really just a hanger-on from our previous episode.
Yeah.
We felt like we couldn't do what that would have been like 8 episodes or something. It would have been just a little too much to cover, and then the main event.
That's right. The peak of Dragon Ball. All right, so starting off with episode 124, it's titled Z Warriors Prepare. So everyone's still training their hardest in preparation for Jiro's new goons, but Yamcha's feeling a little emasculated because Vegeta's currently training at 300 times Earth's gravity. It's fairly similar to that Jedi lightsaber training where Luke's trying to deflect energy with his lightsaber while blindfolded, except Vegeta's trying to dodge his own energy blast being redirected by drones. Okay, so it's actually not anything like Jedi training, but it's effective, I guess. Also, there's an animation error where Yamcha is wearing a shirt under his Kame gear, but then it's missing once he goes to check on Vegeta. Just a fun little thing I noticed.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Never being one to put his life on the line, Yamcha tries his hands at 300 Gs, and, well, I guess you could say he can't handle the pressure. The next day, Bulma hangs out with her mom for tea while musing about their destruction being created somewhere at that time. And Mrs. Brief is into big foreheads, apparently. Speaking of big foreheads, Vegeta is still trying to kill himself at 300 Gs and failing, but he does manage to destroy the ship. Despite his silly behavior, Bulma seems to think that this is him showing his vulnerable side and decides to nurse him back to health. Back in the mountains, Gohan is still training with Goku and Piccolo, but he's still not near their level. I'm sure that won't become an issue later. Meanwhile, Bulma pines over an unconscious Vegeta who's pining for Goku, who's teasing Vegeta with a coquettish smile in his nightmares. Oh, quotes around nightmares. Trunks even shows up too. The penis envy, Super Saiyan envy is insane. Vegeta cries manly tears over his inability to perform. It's like a French film at this point. No, seriously, we get like some interesting insight into Vegeta's character in all seriousness.
Mm-hmm.
He awakens in the morning and immediately tries to train at 400 Gs to overcompensate for his injured state. Yamcha finds this inspiring, but I'd argue he's been suicidal since Vegeta first showed up. Bulma chides Vegeta instead, especially after he proves her right. At least nobody can say these guys didn't try to prepare. That brings us to the pinnacle of Dragon Ball lore, episode 125, titled Goku's Ordeal.
We've made it.
We're finally here. We open this episode with Chi-Chi fleeing a boar with the family groceries, while her husband is busy looking at clouds. As you can probably guess, Chi-Chi's having a rough day. And to top it all off, her husband and son come home to dump a bunch of laundry on her while they get to have a nice bath. It's the last straw, so the only solution is for Goku to go get a driver's license. She also ropes Piccolo into this effort by holding dinner hostage, even though Namekians don't eat. Anyway, they both do as Chi-Chi order and head to driving school. Goku's teacher looks surprisingly like Dr. Giro, and Piccolo gets slapped around by his seatbelt. The lesson begins in earnest while we jump back to the Briefs family discussing their Vegeta problem. Speaking of which, he's now up to 450 Gs and seems to be doing much better. Gohan tries to imagine his 2 dads at driving school, but Chi-Chi seems focused on keeping his nose in the books. Back at driving school, it turns out Piccolo is a quick study and Goku, not so much. Which is weird when you think about how much time he spent around Bulma. Despite his difficulties, Goku somehow baits Piccolo into having a race in the middle of their lesson, which results in a mid-air crash and fireball. Miraculously, both instructors survive. Despite this poor show of driving skill, the lessons continue, this time in the rain, with small children present. The rain causes a rock slide that puts the children in danger, so of course our heroes have to jump into action, but only after crashing their cars again. The bus full of school children are saved, with animation that's way prettier than you'd expect, but despite this incredible display of heroics, still no license. Oh well, back to training, I guess. And that is our episodes for this week.
Yeah, before we get into driving and driving school and all that stuff, this is one of those, like, especially the previous episode 124, is definitely one of those benefits of hindsight that the anime gets that the manga obviously doesn't. And I don't know, do you call it hindsight? I don't know what you call it. Foresight, maybe? Where I know that at this point, even still, the anime is only maybe, and I don't know the exact number, but we'll just say around 20 weeks-ish behind the manga, which isn't a ton, but it is enough to know some of the revelations, like that Trunks and Vegeta, or that Trunks is Vegeta's son, and therefore they can build the romance a little bit more between Vegeta and Bulma.
Right, yeah.
And work our way up to it. And they also know that, you know, Vegeta's going to have some Super Saiyan envy and a lot of complications going around with his struggles to become Super Saiyan, so they can build that up even more. So there's a lot they can do to buff out some of that stuff. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a few episodes ahead when it comes to writing these episodes out. So it also dovetails really nicely with the beginning of the Android arc as well.
Yeah.
Because those revelations in the manga were revealed there, now we get this nice sort of build up to it, and in my opinion, I think it's a nice payoff.
Yes, it is. It's definitely one of those. This little stretch in here is, I think, one of those where you talk about like people who really hate filler. I'm like, some of this stuff is really good.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got some of the ultimate filler. That episode the driving episode is so fun and so funny and so much fun.
I think the reason why it's so much fun is because it gets back a little bit to sort of that goofy humor from OG Dragon Ball.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you've got Piccolo being, I don't know what emasculated almost into being forced to take a driver's test.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fantastic. Especially like you almost wish this could have happened just a smidge sooner, so that Piccolo being like a bad guy would almost have more weight. It still does to an extent. Like, for as far as Chi-Chi knows, pretty much the last time she saw Piccolo, he was like, "I'm going to kill your husband." Like, that's
yeah.
My mission in life is to kill your husband. And she's like, then the next time she sees him, she's like, "I don't care what your deal is, but you're also getting a driver's license." Like,
I'm not going to let you be a degenerate like my husband.
That is fantastic. That is just, it's great. It's so good. And yes, the animation, like, that's the other thing. The animation in that episode is really good. The character
way
designs,
better than it needed to be.
the character designs are quirky and fun on the two driving instructors. Like the cute little girl and the crotchety old man are great character designs. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just, it's one of those, it's like a peak Dragon Ball comedic episode. It's fantastic.
Yeah. No notes.
I also think it really, really helps that it is very, like, in the pocket. It's very standalone. Yeah. And to me, when people talk about, like, when people are like, I've listened to other Dragon Ball shows and they're like, "Oh, what are your top 10 episodes?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what's the episode? Like, even kind of looking back on it, I don't think of the episode where Goku goes Super Saiyan for the first time, because that actually happens right at the end of the episode.
Yeah. It's
almost like the end of that episode and then the episode right after that I really like. Right? It's a lot of that happens in Dragon Ball, where it's not so much that I have a favorite episode, it's that I have a favorite, like, string of events. But so I think if I were going to make a top 10 list, it would almost all be like filler episodes.
That's a fair point.
Because they stand to themselves.
Yeah, and I think, and it was, Frieza's arc is especially bad, but, like, they start getting to this habit of, like, trying to have cliffhangers every episode or some major reveal at the end of the episode. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you're saying, like, it kind of undercuts any single episode, and you're thinking more in terms of multiple spans of episodes for specific things. Right.
Yeah. So that's what is such a benefit to filler episodes, especially a filler episode like this, which is very standalone. And this is sort of our final transition out of the fillery portions of the Garlic Jr. post Frieza stuff and really into the Android arc proper.
And it's a good one.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about driving in Japan before we get into our super special for the driving episode. I don't even know what we're calling it. or super special event. But most people think of Japan as being dominated by railways and subways, and while that's for good reason, after all, Japan has one of the most expansive railway systems in the world and spends less energy per person on transport compared to any other country. But the 1.2 million kilometers of paved roads are the main means of transport in the country, actually, above subways or railways.
Interesting.
With car ownership actually being very high at around 80% of households owning a car. For comparison, the US is at 92%, Germany 85%, the UK 85%, Australia 78%, Russia 47%, and China 23%. Those are like the top, I don't know, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus Japan 7. Those are the top 7, I think, countries for car ownership in the world. Or at least, like, those are some of the bigger countries to get you a comparison point. Japan holds right around the UK and Australia for how many people own cars. Roads in Japan have been around since thousands of years BC, but what we might think of as a more modern roadway system in Japan begins in the Meiji era, as the roadways in existence prior to that were not designed for wheeled vehicles and heavy traffic and broke down under the strain brought on by Japan's modernization. So the Road Act of 1919 designated there be 5 categories of roads under the national government: national roads, prefectural roads, district roads, city roads, and municipal roads, while also prioritizing building railways to take pressure off the road networks. Still, in the 1950s, just after the occupation, only about 14% of Japan's roadways were paved. By 1965, that percentage increased to 57%, and these days over 90% of roads are paved, which is probably as high as it will ever get when you consider preservation of historical roadways that remain unpaved. There's a lot of those in Japan and in every country, right? There's cobblestone streets throughout America that are unpaved because no one wants to pave them.
A lot of red brick too.
Yeah. And then also you've probably got a fair amount too of, gravel and dirt roadways like way out in the sticks and things where no independent farmer is going to pay to pave his roads. Like that doesn't make sense. The first highway in Japan, the Meishin Expressway, opened to traffic in 1963. Over this period, that's between that's right around in 1963 up until 1970. Over this period, traffic accidents and fatalities rose dramatically, with almost 17,000 people dying due to traffic-related accidents in 1970, the worst year on record in Japan, and led to people saying there was a, quote, traffic war, unquote, as the death rate was equal to that of the Sino-Japanese War. So people were dying in traffic accidents at the rate of a war. So it was considered like the silent war, the traffic war. In 1971, comprehensive and long-term measures were first initiated to reduce traffic accidents with special emphasis on the 3 E's: education, enforcement, and engineering. And by 1979, the number of fatalities was halved, but the statistics began to worsen again in 1980 until reaching a second highest number of 11,500 fatalities in 1992.
Ooh. So some of these trends have obvious reasons. From 1950 to 1970, vehicle ownership rose from 413,000 to 16.5 million, while in that time, the amount of road development, meaning both new road construction and lane expansion on existing roads, was just 11%. A similar trend took place from 1980 to 1992, with vehicle ownership increasing from 37 million to 62 million, while road development was only about 10%. Though, to be fair, Japan's roadways have rarely grown at a state commensurate with population, GDP, and vehicle ownership. So, why the decline in the 80s? Well, data shows a strong correlation between enforcement and crashes, as just 5.3 million people were arrested for traffic violations in 1970, while nearly 12 million people were arrested in 1979. The year fatalities reached a pre-2000s low. This general trend also holds for the increase throughout the 80s and the decrease in the 90s and on to today. It also helps that there are more laws that can be enforced. No seatbelt law existed prior to 1971 in Japan. No penalties were explicitly laid out for not wearing a seatbelt until 1985, and the seatbelt laws were extended to back seats in 2007. Age requirements did not exist until 1967, and today you must be 18 to get a driver's license in Japan. And if you're driving anything other than a motorcycle or a standard lightweight vehicle, there are higher age requirements and mandatory trainings, and there are significant fees involved as well. License renewal requires taking lectures every 3 years unless you have a perfect driving record, in which case it is extended to 5 years. Additionally, the number of traffic signals in Japan rose from 15,000 to 95,000 from 1970 to 1980. The number of pedestrian bridges that allow road crossing without entering the roadway increased from 5,000 to 9,000. And while overall existing roads were often lacking in improvements, the expansion of the highway system, which was the safest type of roadway in Japan, also contributed. And it can't be overlooked that vehicles themselves are safer, which is just a general trend in the automotive industry.
It's nuts that in 1971 they introduced a seatbelt law, but there was no penalty for breaking the seatbelt law.
I guess their thought there was it's just on the books so that the cops can stop you and say, hey, you should really wear your seatbelt.
Basically, right? It's sort of that, I might argue it's sort of a blend of education and enforcement at that point.
Yeah.
You're trying to really educate people still that seatbelts save lives and all that. I mean, especially, we know this at least anecdotally, and I'm sure there's probably research that would corroborate this. In America, when seatbelt laws were first introduced, people threw a fit. And people...
Same with drinking and driving laws.
Yeah. And similar fits to the types that people throw today about proposed, like, gun laws. Like, people said it was an infringement on freedom and their rights as Americans. And then there was also, like, the kind of anti-scientific rhetoric we see today when it comes to vaccine mandates and mask mandates, the anti-science, the outright, frankly, straight up lies that came about. They're like, seatbelts cost more lives than they save. Not true.
That's ridiculous.
But, like, you know, people would... Because I'm sure you could probably cherry pick an accident where, like, one person maybe got a deep seatbelt laceration that they might not have had if they hadn't been wearing their seatbelt, and be like, oh, look, this person was injured by their seatbelt. So
my immediate follow-up question to that would be, well, if they hadn't been wearing a seatbelt, how bad would it have been?
Probably 1,000 times worse, right?
Yeah.
But so yeah, it is, I would say, probably the most startling trend, if we're looking at all of that, more than any other, is the increase from, like, 85 to 92, right? When we're talking about, like, was it 1980, I think, was the lowest, and then in the 85 it starts going back up, and by 92 it gets really terrible again, because at that point you've got your laws on the books, you've got a high level of education, you've got people wearing seatbelts, at least by law, and there are penalties for breaking that law, and yet in 1992 you have, like, your second worst year of fatalities ever. That's the alarming one. So that's a rough history of roadways and driving in Japan. It's not horribly dissimilar from the US, except that it seems modern day laws are actually more strict, and we know from data that Japan has some of the lowest per capita rates of collisions, casualties, and fatalities in the world. Oh, and by the way, they have a zero tolerance drunk driving law, meaning anything over 0.03%, which can be considered a trace amount left behind by certain medicines, oral cleansers, and even foods, can carry hefty fines up to 1 million yen, license revocation, and up to 5 years in prison, with penalties extending to those who provide the alcohol, access to cars, or even ride with intoxicated drivers. So their drinking and driving laws are so, like, you don't have a beer and get into a car.
Yeah.
It is, and beyond that, think about that. They can penalize the bar owner, the person who gave the person access to that car, and the passengers for riding with that person. That's bonkers. Now, though, because that was, you know, all we kind of had about driving, we're going to just jump backward in Dragon Ball history. And because we actually overlooked a couple of things, and we're going to address one of them right now. And we're going to take a fun, we hope, and look at a unique corner of the franchise. But before that, I'm going to have a brief PSA about PSAs. PSAs are public service announcements, and they would exist worldwide, or they do exist worldwide, and they take many different forms. A PSA can be something fairly complex, like a multifaceted marketing campaign designed to raise worldwide awareness of an issue or laws, like Smokey Bear's fire safety, or McGruff the crime dog, or Buckle Up, It's the Law, or even if you're watching a TV today that talks about like what the rates of human trafficking are like worldwide. Like it can be a general PSA. A PSA can also be something simple and very local, like a person in a yellow vest telling people to stay to the left because there's construction over to the right. Something like that. That's a PSA. Very briefly, because it's not incredibly relevant to Japanese culture or history, in the 1980s, PSAs in cartoons rose to prominence as a way for networks to try to get the government off their backs, basically. A lot of educational-style programming was being canceled in favor of more commercially appealing, strict entertainment, like Captain Kangaroo and children's news shows. The children's news show 30 Minutes was canceled in favor of He-Man and Transformers. The government was trying to mandate the numbers of hours of educational programming in children's television, and networks are trying to have that not happen. So, in order to skirt around the rules about, or at least comply with, what would you say, comply with the letter but not the spirit of these...
I'd almost say malicious compliance.
Yes, there you go. They'd have G.I. Joe or Transformers do a little PSA to make sure you don't burn your house down. Knowing is half the battle. Yeah. Then they could say that G.I. Joe wasn't just an excuse to sell toys to kids. It was actually educational.
But it totally was.
Exactly. Nobody was really fooled, and so the requirements were ultimately instituted in the 1990s with the Children's Television Act that established education programming requirements and explicitly outlawed shoehorning commercial products into PSAs, and the prevalence of PSAs in cartoons then fell off, especially in the later 90s as laws were revised even further to stop companies sneaking away with calling things like Santa Claus is Coming to Town educational. Yes, that actually happened. If you'd like to, just Google Santa Claus is Coming to Town educational controversy. You'll find it probably, because I
thought it was pretty educational. It teaches you about authoritarian dictatorships.
Well, now they really don't want you to see that one. So,
I think I just got that one blacklisted.
This trend extended a little bit into Japan as well, as they saw Transformers and G.I. Joe doing PSAs and did some of that as well, though the history and prevalence is far less common than in the United States. Enter 1988. Goku's Traffic Safety, a 15-minute short where Goku and his friends encounter various situations that cause them to give little lessons on driving and traffic safety to kids, with the short being distributed to Japanese schools on VHS to show in classes as well. So, without any further ado, enjoy what I hope doesn't get us in trouble at all, as we perform a sort of radio play of Goku's Traffic Safety. I guess technically it's a podcast play, but pod play sounds like a sex thing, so...
Yeah, it's nah.
You know, I won't shame anyone who finds our voice work on what you're about to hear an aphrodisiac, but that's not what we're going for. Okay?
Why do I not believe you?
Okay.
Especially after that dating game episode I just did.
Long, long ago, in a deep, dark forest, far from civilization, beyond a towering range of... Well, you get the idea. It's the kind of place a story like this has to begin. A young Goku, roughly from the time period between the end of the clash against the Red Ribbon Army and the beginning of the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai that Tien-Shinhan won, is crossing a log over a large gorge when he runs afoul of a tiger bandit, whose imposing size and design are reminiscent of the bear bandit Goku and Bulma met early in the show's story.
Hey kid, I'm going through here, so get out of the way!
Why? I was the one who crossed here first.
Just get out of the way!
You started crossing afterwards, so aren't you the one that should go back?
You cocky brat, I'm gonna move you out of the way!
The Tiger Bandit winds up a fist, preparing to attack, and Goku smirks and steadies himself for a fight, before seeming to disappear into thin air as the Tiger's fist flies, and reappearing behind the confused bandit, startling him into slipping from the log, almost falling into the rapids below, only catching purchase at the last moment with the claws of his fingertips.
Help me!
Goku crouches down near eye to eye with the Tiger Bandit as he clings to the log for dear life.
I'm really wasting my time here. Hey, where's West City?
West City?
Yeah, Bulma invited me to her house.
The Tiger Bandit points to his left.
It's that way.
That way, huh? Got it. Thank you.
Goku runs off, leaving the Tiger Bandit to slowly slip, although his fate remains unknown. For his part, Goku runs to the edge of a cliff overlooking the sea, and with his typical joyful, reckless abandon, when performing feats of great strength and agility, leaps into the ocean.
There we go.
Goku swims toward the horizon. As we pan up and look at the sky, as we pan back down from the sky, we find ourselves in West City. The streets are thronged with people, and cars zip by on the streets, as Master Roshi and Krillin walk along on the sidewalk, dressed in their impressive pre-21st Tenkaichi Budokai suits, amazed by the hustle and bustle.
Wow, this city's so amazing.
Hey, Krillin, are you sure it's this way?
Huh? What is it?
Well, is Bulma's house actually this way? As a response, Krillin merely gives a dumbfounded look of confusion. Gah! How irritating! Let's go this way! Roshi pulls Krillin into an alleyway and begins to berate him. What was that? You don't know the way? Krillin unfolds a map from within his suit.
Well, it looks like we're lost.
Oh well, let's call Bulma and have her come and meet us.
Well, the thing is, I forgot to ask for her telephone number.
For crying out loud! Cut to a nearby street, where a young boy plays with an RC car, smiling bemusedly as he drives it around the alleyway, before he loses control of the miniature vehicle, and it flips over. We then come back to Roshi and Krillin. Well, I guess we better ask someone which way to go.
I'm sorry.
A truck horn sounds, startling Roshi and Krillin from their concern. They look down the alleyway to see a green truck that looks like a gas tube trailer flying at high advanced speed down the road. The driver, an agitated-looking bear man, does not notice them as they hop out of the way. He continues speeding down the street as the boy with the RC car dashes out in front of him to retrieve his toy. The boy and the bear both react with stunned surprise. Watch out! The truck continues speeding along, smashing the RC car under the thunderous weight of its wheels, careening toward the young boy, who could do no more than cower in terror as his impending doom comes flying toward him, driven by a bear. Luckily, the truck comes to a stop mere inches from the boy, who has been squinting his eyes, steeled against the oncoming pain.
Phew!
You idiot! What the hell were you looking at, you lousy kid?
The boy's eyes well up with shame and fear as the emotional weight of the situation bears down on him. Are you okay? A woman dressed as an officer runs into the scene. She is blonde and bears at least a passing resemblance to Launch, though she is explicitly not Launch, even if she is voiced by Mami Koyama in Japanese, and even if this character sometimes is incorrectly credited as being Launch. The traffic lady is beautiful, which only merits mentioning as it colors Roshi's reaction to her. Are you okay? Wow! Listen, kid, you can't just come running out into the street like that. Cars can't suddenly stop.
Yeah, exactly.
If you run out into the street like that, stuff like this is going to happen. The traffic lady gestures to the smashed remains of the RC car as the boy's countenance changes to a stunned surprise mixed with fear, no doubt thinking of how he might have looked had it been him rather than his toy ground under the wheels of the bear driver's rolling death machine. If there are no traffic lights, stop completely, carefully look left and right, and then cross after you've made sure there are no cars coming. Got it?
Yep.
Okay, there's a good boy.
Watch out next time.
The bear driver begins to start his truck again, to ride away angrily and continue his day. Hey, wait a second, mister.
Hey?
You know you have to drive slowly down this kind of road, right?
Oh, I wasn't going fast at all.
Stop telling lies. If you were driving slow, you wouldn't have made these tire marks, would you? The traffic lady points out that there are rubber tire marks on the road behind the truck, indicating he was speeding fast enough to burn rubber into the road as he skidded to a stop.
Oh, sorry about that.
The bear driver makes the prototypical anime embarrassed gesture with his arm scratching behind his back and then drives off. Excuse me, officer? Yes? We've come to visit a friend, but we got lost.
We'd like to go here, but...
Krillin hands the traffic lady his map. It's near to the police station. What's the name of your friend?
It's Bulma, ma'am.
Over at Capsule Corporation, established by a nice quick view of the exterior, we head into the kitchen to find Oolong chopping up onions.
This isn't going well. My eyes are starting to water.
Bulma sits at the kitchen table, reading a book with the English title Cooking emblazoned on the front. Oolong! Can you dice 1 carrot once you finish that?
Do it yourself, jeez.
What?
Nothing at all.
The doorbell rings. I wonder who's here. Bulma gets up out of her chair and walks to an intercom on the wall where she presses a button. Yes?
Hello?
Hello! Ah, welcome! We see that the intercom is a video intercom, and it is Yamcha and Puar at the door.
Happy birthday, Bulma.
Happy birthday! Thank you.
Where's Master Roshi?
He isn't here yet. Neither is Goku.
I see. Maybe we're a little early.
Not at all. You're right on time. Can you help me out?
Yay, I'm saved!
As Yamcha and Puar exchange a worried glance, we see Goku has finished swimming across the ocean and made landfall at a beach. He runs through the forest, across the mountainous terrain, travels past farmland and a tractor before meeting a fork in the road.
Oh, okay.
Goku takes the path to the right and winds up running alongside an expressway with cars flying past in either direction as he runs down the sidewalk on the side against oncoming traffic.
I wonder if this is the right way or not.
Goku finally stops running to appraise his situation. As he looks around, he sees a young girl with red hair standing on the opposite side of the street with a backpack and her thumb out. A car passes by her without slowing. Gah! Cheapskates! Why don't you just give me a ride? Goku attempts to shout to be heard over the roar of passing engines and road noise.
Hey! I want to get to West City. Is this the right way?
Sano cups a hand to her ear, clearly struggling to hear over the noise. What?
West City! West City!
I can't hear you at all.
I guess I've got no choice but to go over there.
Once again, with his trademark recklessness, Goku runs out into the road. Despite Sano's shock, Goku dodges cars, jumps nimbly out of their way, and safely makes it to her side of the street.
Yo, I'm Goku. Nice to meet you.
Hey, that was dangerous. You could get killed crossing the road like that.
It's fine. I'm pretty nimble.
No, it isn't. Even if you are okay, the drivers might panic and cause an accident. The driver of a car that barely missed hitting Goku and swerved to avoid striking a child running in the road shakes his fist out of his car window.
You idiot! Oh, I see.
Listen, when you cross a road that has no traffic lights, carefully look to left and right, and then cross after you've made sure there's no car coming. Got it? As Sano speaks, we see a bear mother and her child, no known relation to the bear driver from earlier, stand at a crosswalk, look left and right, and then carefully cross the street while holding hands.
What's a traffic light?
Anyway, what did you want from me?
Well, I want to go to West City. Do you know the way?
West City? I'm just on my way there now.
Really?
Back at Capsule Corporation, Krillin and Roshi have arrived and ring the video doorbell intercom system that predates the Ring doorbell system by 25 years. Answering from within Capsule Corporation and shown on the video screen is Yamcha wearing an apron.
Hello?
Thank you for inviting us today.
Forget about the greetings. Hurry up and come inside.
Eh?
Huh?
Meanwhile, Goku and the young red-headed girl are traveling by foot across the countryside. My name is Sano. I came here from a village to the north. I'm going to play the house of my relatives. And you?
I was invited to the birthday party of someone called Bulma. She said she'd let me stuff myself with food, so...
Hey, look, I can see it now. West City. As Sano points ahead, we see West City sprawling out before our intrepid young travelers.
That's West City, huh?
Where's your friend's house? What block is it in?
Come to think of it, I forgot to ask.
Gah, you're really useless. On the streets of West City, we see the traffic lady from earlier leaning in to speak with the driver of a red car that is stopped in the road. Please be careful.
Sorry.
Goku and Sano walk past this brief interaction as they continue winding their way through West City in search of Bulma's house. I'm meeting my relatives at the department store. Do you want to come with me? I'll introduce you.
Sure.
The department store is over there. Ah! Once again, with little regard for anything but the moment, Goku has run out into the street where Sano is pointed. Hold on a second.
Eh?
Eh? I told you not to run out like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, a pedestrian crossing is right over there. Huh?
Pedestrian crossing?
We see a traffic signal with a walking man in green on the bottom and a standing man in red on the top. A series of people, an alligator man, and Nam from the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai are crossing the street as the light is currently green. Look, the traffic light is now green, right? When it's green, then it's okay to cross there. Anything else is not allowed.
Right. Let's cross.
Goku runs off, carefree as always. No, no! Goku stops running and looks back, confused.
Huh? Why? The traffic light is green.
We see that the traffic light's green light is now flashing. When the traffic light begins to flash like that, you mustn't start to cross the road.
Gah, how annoying.
Even if it's annoying, you must obey the rules. That's because a huge accident can occur just from one person's selfishness.
I see.
Back inside Bulma's house, a chain of alternating red and blue links, presumably of paper, hangs from the ceiling, meeting in a ball in the middle as white and yellow streamers also flow, lending a festive atmosphere to the room. But seated at a large dining table, Bulma looks annoyed, while Yamcha, Puar, Oolong, Krillin, and Roshi look forlorn despite a delicious-looking spread of food laid out in front of them. The food is untouched, and there is champagne that remains unopened as well.
Gah. What on earth is Goku doing?
On the streets of West City, Goku and Sano walk down the sidewalk when a man, woman, and a young boy hail them from across the street.
Sano!
Auntie!
It's Sis!
Sano's brother runs into the road in direct violation of everything we've been learning the past 10 minutes or so as time slows to a crawl, and our vision becomes black and white with fear, and we see a car barreling down the road. Sano's brother appears doomed to be smashed to pieces as the RC car from earlier, with less red plastic strewn over the road, but still a great deal of red, to be sure.
Ah! Power pole extend!
As Goku removes his power pole from its scabbard, it extends through the sleeves of Sano's brother's shirt, at which point Goku pulls up, wrenching the boy out of the path of a car by mere moments, saving his life and our psyche from having to witness a young anime child splattered across the roadside in graphic and horrible detail. Everyone breathes a sigh of relief as Traffic Lady runs to the scene and Goku retracts the power pole, placing the boy next to he and Sano, ruffling his hair in a "you little scamp" type of gesture. Goku!
Hey, it's dangerous for you to rush like that into the street. Cars can't suddenly stop, you know.
I am grateful for your cooperation. Excuse me, but what is your name?
I'm Goku. Oh yeah, do you know where Bulma's house is?
Huh? Bulma? Traffic Lady's memory of bringing Roshi and Krillin to Bulma's house pays off, and we get to see Goku at Bulma's birthday feast, eating with ravenous energy as he does whenever food is placed in front of him. Bulma is clearly annoyed by his lack of manners and hogging of the food.
Hey, Goku?
We also... Goku finishes eating the entire feast, and with a comically distended belly sits back in utter satisfaction.
I'm stuffed. But I think it was a little too much just for me. I overdid it.
Goku!
Goku!
Goku?
Oh, Goku,
What?
you really kept us waiting.
Hey, listen. Today I did something really good before coming here. I strictly obeyed the traffic regulations.
What does that have to do with anything?
You ate everything by yourself!
In unison, everyone jumps on Goku and begins a brawl. Goku cries out in surprise.
Shut up!
Everyone was really hungry! As the brawl continues in a comic cloud of dust, Goku extricates himself and comes to talk directly to us.
Everyone, no matter how much of a hurry you're in, you must always obey the traffic rules.
Goku has a hand placed on his head and is pushed down. Exactly! If everyone obeyed the traffic rules, then no more accidents would happen.
Precisely, so let me up.
Shut up! That and this are separate things.
Revenge over food's a frightening thing.
Outside Capsule Corporation, Goku attempts to flee as everyone chases after him. Traffic Lady enters and blows a whistle and everyone freeze frames to a stop. Let's obey the traffic rules, everyone! Yes! Everyone salutes, and we are taken out by a unique rendition of Maka Fushigi Adventure. The lyrics have been changed, and I've changed them even further to help them rhyme. If you'd like an unedited translation, that's been provided here as well. So, it goes like this. Find the Dragon Balls, look out for them all. You can search around the world with me. Dee-dee-dee. Gotta heed the call. Magic Dragon Balls. What a great adventure this will be. You can climb on board cause the Nimbus doesn't wait. A fantastic journey for your dreams, a thrilling mystery. Surely let's obey all the traffic codes. Stop running out into the middle of the roads. Somewhere today there'll be a nasty blow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're definitely a hasty youth. Calm down your reckless inner truth. Before you cross, make sure to check the traffic flow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's try, look high and low. Search the sea and the sky. Oh, search the sky and the sea below. Let's try to seize the day and make new friends along the way. Find the Dragon Balls, look out for them all. Come hunt those Dragon Balls with me. Gotta heed the call. Magic Dragon Balls. What a great adventure this will be. Set a course for action, adventure doesn't wait. Fantastic journey for your dreams, a thrilling mystery. Do 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 do. So for the part that's been altered, which is like all of the stuff about the traffic roads, which is like, let's obey the traffic codes, stop running into the middle of the roads. I changed all that to rhyme better. It's here it is more strictly translated. It's surely let's obey the traffic rules. Let's stop running out dangerously. Somewhere today there'll be an accident. You're definitely a hasty boy. Calm down your panicked heart. Check the traffic light and then cross. I changed that to let's obey the traffic codes. Stop running to the middle of the roads. Somewhere today there'll be a nasty blow. You're a hasty youth. Calm down your inner reckless truth. Before you cross, make sure to check the traffic flow. So I just tried to get it to rhyme.
I think that's a pretty decent translation.
So I hope everyone had fun with this. I kind of had fun with doing
I definitely
that.
had fun with this.
And I hope we don't wind up getting sued or like C Indeed by Toei, because
Also, you can't see it, but I'm giving a standing ovation right now for the song that you did. Excellent job.
to make this, we'll do a little bit of behind the baseball, inside baseball talk on that one.
Yeah.
I found this is Goku's traffic safety is very easy to find on YouTube, and it's not difficult to find subtitled on YouTube. I legitimately went to YouTube, watched it, and like every couple of minutes I would pause it and just either type up what I thought the narrator would need to provide context for, like like the transitional sequences, like from the establishing shots for the camera, things like that. And then I would the script that we read is the exact subtitled script from the subtitles.
Beautiful.
And that's how this came together. So it's just something fun to celebrate our favorite Dragon Ball filler.
Worth it. And it was a good time. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's kind of all we have for this one. It was a fun one to do though. And yeah, we'll be back to our usual. You know, we've got some cool stuff to talk about with 19 and 20. I found some really cool stuff about 19 actually. So if you want to stick with us for that.
Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah.
So I've come to a decision.
Oh boy.
Did the Matrix just reset?
What?
Deja vu.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's not important.
So what is?
Well, that after listening to all these people talk about a single movie for over 3 hours, I'm fully convinced meeting them face to face would prove a useless and futile exercise. Let's jump into the swirling vortex of mystery.
You don't need to tell me twice. Here I go!
What in the... Now I have to do the sign-off? Okay. What will we find on the other side?
Hang on.
What? How is this possible?
It's a new technique I invented where I left behind a ventriloquist-like version of my voice, perfectly predicting everything you'll say, and it'll seem like I'm right here.
You seriously couldn't just allow me to be the one to do the sign-off?
I know it has its applications in battle, and could have been used before, but now just seemed like the right time to introduce it.
What are you talking about?
Very true.
Okay. So while Jelly's disembodied voice does a terrible job of mimicking an actual conversation...
No, see, that's exactly why I chose to jump into the vortex.
Maybe we should just wait and see how much longer he's going to go for.
No, I'm quite sure they'll still be in there recording after this technique has ended. Because they're not even doing sign-offs. Probably just like me, so, you know, very handsome.
What an arrogant clown.
I would agree with that. Okay, so you first, or well, technically second. Listen, just also jump in while I sign off, okay? Will we emerge from the swirling vortex in yet another world, or will we return to the floating realm of timelessness? Find out next time and help us achieve our final forum.
Here we go.
Final Form is written and produced by Tom Gwelly. It is performed by Dan Kinney and Tom Gwelly. Our webmaster is Dan Kinney. Our theme music is provided by YouTube content creator GVG Kid. Want to learn more about the Dragon Ball universe, including concept art, behind-the-scenes interviews, and recommendations from Jelli and Bekinney? Connect with us on social media. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Final Forum Pod. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you receive your podcasts. And of course, make sure to share it with your friends and family and help us spread the word of the glory of Lord Frieza. The Frieza Force thanks you for your listenership.